OMG, T-Han, look, it's that stupid new fry boy again with his stupid poses. Grrr.
Wow, has time flied. The Adventures of Garry, otherwise known as TAoG, is quickly approaching its 15th anniversary this December. Join me, HkSniper, one of the producers of this wacky, juvenile-humored series, as I go over the history, why it was made, and why I think it impacted machinima and other video game-based filming for years to come. In 2004, I was introduced to Garry's Mod, a modification for the popular game Half-Life 2. And if you're not familiar with it, I don't know where you've been this last 15 years or more. But the modification at the time was very crude and didn't have a whole lot of content behind it. But with each new release, which seemed to come fairly frequently on behalf of Garry, the modification expanded and grew more and more. And so did the community behind it. And that's where TAoG definitely comes into play, and I would love to go over with you how it came into the scene and just why it was made and why the wacky, crazy humor that it was known for came to be. Which brings us to the Facepunch forums. Now, the forums for Facepunch originally just involved the modification itself. But as the community grew and expanded, so did the amount of boards and other content found on the site. There was a few things that the forums was known for, and Facepunch was known for its auto ban system. Now, the auto ban system was put in because of Garry's annoyance of people using acronyms like LOL and WTF, etc.
Bad. Hey guys, how do you play Garry's Mod? LOL. Does anybody know how to play? Okay, submit, post, and done. What the fuck? Auto ban?
And if you posted anything like that, you were automatically banned for a certain amount of time, usually 24 hours, but repeated offenses would get you banned even more. So, one of the things that me and Wolfer really found humorous was to make really stupid videos in an attempt to get people to say the banned phrases. So we made a few videos at first involving like watermelon cannons and other really stupid, just random humor, and unfortunately I do not have those videos anymore. But that's how it started in late 2004 and into 2005. And it was originally started to abuse this auto ban system and to get people banned because we found it funny. So then enters TAoG. The first 2 episodes of TAoG were actually made the first night we filmed or did anything involving the Adventures of Garry in general. And we actually originally planned for the 2 episodes that we made to be the only 2 episodes that we were going to make because we fully expected Garry to ban us. Now, it's actually our goal was to take a ban hit so that everyone would repeat the wacky phrases and acronyms such as WTF and STFU and LOL and etc. We hope to take as many people as we could with us while taking kind of a swing at Garry and the auto ban system. I guess unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to think of it, Garry liked the video. He did not ban us, and I believe at one point he may have stickied the post. And from there, the Adventures of Garry was born. And once we started going through the ideas for future episodes, we started looking at the Facepunch Studios culture in general. And that's what I'll cover here next. What exactly influenced the humor found in these videos? Because unless you were around on Facepunch in the year 2004 through 2005, you probably don't understand a lot of the humor that's contained within this video. And I'm going to cover that now.
Oh, Garry, you on them. You got on by Garry on you. Ruffle copper, ruffle my waffle roller skates.
Now, Facepunch Studios had its own unique culture. And it was an interesting place to hang out and post and all that kind of stuff. And it had a lot of its own inside humor, inside jokes. Obviously, the auto ban system and Garry's near hair trigger on banning anybody from the forums. I mean, he patrolled those forums like a hawk, and if you said something that really irritated Garry, you're going straight to the ban forums. Now, Facepunch had a ban forums, and there were some people that were permanently banned that made their lives on Facepunch in the ban forums. And I actually got put into the ban forums. I can't remember why. I think I spent like a week there. It was a kind of a interesting place. It was sort of the exile location of everyone that's been banned, and it kind of consisted of, I remember it was a rainbow blinking sort of lights in the background. We sort of replicated it in one of the episodes of the ban forums where Jay and Fryboy got put into the ban forums. Which brings me on to the next topic of Jay and Fryboy. Jay and Fryboy were indeed real people. And Jay used to make a habit of going around in the screenshot section of Facepunch and would tell everyone that, you know, he would rate their screenshots a 1 out of 10. He was a troll, and he eventually, I believe, was banned several times for posting 1 out of 10 at people. And it became sort of known if Jay was going to reply to your screenshot, it was going to be a 1 out of 10. Was always the joke. Fryboy. Fryboy, again, was a real person. Fryboy was known for his terrible poses.
No, I didn't do anything wrong.
And Garry's mod. And I'm still unsure today if the really bad poses he made were intentional or not. But one of the videos actually shows several screenshots, actual screenshots from him in one of the episodes that we filmed. And kind of going on to poses, the Matrix poses.
Hey, look everybody, Matrix poses. Look, I made Matrix poses.
Is one of the frequent jokes in the series, and that is a real thing. People loved to make Matrix poses, and I believe Garry at one point put his foot down on it and said no more. So it was an interesting time to be around on Facepunch. Garry and TAoG. Obviously, Gary's a real person. TAoG was a real person. TAoG was a moderator for the forums. I believe he was one of the first moderators. So that is why he became Garry's sidekick in the Adventures of Garry. As TAoG grew in popularity, so did its production. We kind of started making more elaborate sets, more elaborate sort of storyline, if you could even call it that. And we kept to the original sense of humor because that is what people liked. They found it humorous. The juvenile random humor was just funny at the time. And that's what we went with. The first 2 episodes, people found it funny, they found it weird, and so we continued that funny, weird, random humor. And that's exactly what TAoG became known for. Obviously, a lot of real events that happened on the Facepunch Studios forum was portrayed in TAoG. Various things such as I mentioned before, the band forums is present. Jay and Fryboy is present. Certain quotes are quotes from posts that occurred that we found hilarious. Certain quotes from that Garry make in the video or made are actual things that he said in posts. And it is just something that we sort of tied into our videos, was the whole culture and the current going-ons of the, you know, the modification. Certain models were used that were popular at that time. Certain phrases, certain terms, and it was just a reflection of Facepunch in general. A lot of the quotes that happened. One of the episodes, I believe it might be actually the last episode, in which the the revelation of the new rating system and Jay getting all excited about it.
Hey Jay, guess what? Gary implemented a new rating system on the forums! Dun dun dun!
That's when they used to have the rating system of the boxes and smiley faces and check marks and all that type of stuff. And a lot of what happened on Facepunch, and in the Adventures of Gary, those were mixed together. And that's kind of what made the humor sort of, within its own inner circle, you could say. If you were not on Facepunch at that time, you're likely not going to understand it. If you were to ask me how difficult it was to make a TAoG episode, I would probably just laugh at you. The Adventures of Gary was very streamlined. It was very random. We usually had a very basic idea of what we were going to do. We had a pretty linear storyline of how things were going to progress, and then we just went out and just did it. Usually things would come to mind as we were working on stuff, and it was just a simple two-man operation. And without both of us putting our minds together, and both of us having kind of the same really stupid sense of humor that we had back then, TAoG never would have existed in the form that it did. And I think with more people, I know more people wanted to get involved when we were filming it. I think if we expanded to more people at the time, we had more than just us, it definitely would not have turned into the direction it did. And I'm actually glad that it did not go in that direction, simply because it's just sort of a unique part of Gary's Mod history. TAoG is forever ingrained into the history of Gary's Mod, I believe. And unfortunately, with the shutting down of the Facepunch forums, there goes a lot of that history and a lot of those connections. I was a gold member. I mean, I had registered. I almost was an 04. I had registered like the first week of January in 05. And, it was just fun being a part of that community. And fun putting kind of my own, even if it was juvenile, wonky, random, silly humor that was originally designed to troll and get people banned from the forum. It was fun, and it was a good time, and I felt, it was great giving something back to that community, even if it was something as silly as TAoG.
Hey everybody, my name's Ruffles Seacrest, and this is American Gary.
The specials. Now, TAoG had 3 specials, 2 of which being a holiday-related special, and 1 of which involved a television show that was popular at the time. We had a Halloween episode that came out first, followed shortly by a Christmas episode, and both, of course, revolved around all the main characters of TAoG engaged in activities and such involving said holidays. The special with American Gary, I think, still to this day, is probably my favorite episode. Obviously, it was a parody of American Idol, which was very popular at the time, and it sort of involved Gary and Tihan being the judges for a new moderator. I thought that was, to be honest, the most funny one that we made, followed by the one with Gary and Jay and Fryboy having the big battle out on the just the default map with the Agent Smiths and the Domo mattresses. I thought that was a pretty funny one. The NFL theme was my idea, and I thought that was a fun one to make. Basically, it was just an interesting time. I know I've said it before, but it was very fun to make the special episodes, and they really just kind of involved the community and were more of spin-offs, kind of fun things I made. They did have the random humor, but they were just a little bit more serious and a little more guided in terms of what we were making, more so than just being totally random. The impact that it had, I believe TAoG had quite the impact with the community. I believe a lot of the Machinima videos that came out later on down the road definitely had some influences from it, and I'm not upset with it. I'm actually glad that it kind of went the direction it went. There's some great series that came out, like the Idiot Box and other random, humored, oriented videos. The G-Man Squad, obviously, Source Mod Todd. That stuff that we made with the Yana Syndicate and Xanatos was all had that magic touch that we had learned from TAoG, and especially the G-Man Squad was definitely something we really put a lot of influence, myself and Wolfer, from our experiences in TAoG. A lot of that same humor that we did was kind of pushed into that as well. And as far as Machinima involving the Source engine, I believe the impact was fairly positive. It kind of was a light humored thing. It was heavily ingrained with the game's culture at the time, and allowed others to become influenced and sort of put their own wacky, random, wild humor out there. And I enjoyed a lot of those videos. I enjoyed a lot of those series, be it series or just one-off videos, like I said. And I believe the impact was very positive. So where did TAoG take us? Well, obviously, after we were finished with TAoG, it wasn't long after I started playing GoldenEye Source. I started playing with the Yana Syndicate. We were originally just a GoldenEye Source clan. We started making videos. I'm not sure where the idea to make videos with our group really sort of sprouted out from, but we ended up having a lot of fun with it. Wolfer got back involved with it. I was involved with it, and the times we had beyond that, were some of the best times that we had in the whole game series, within Half-Life 2, Source Engine, and all that. The G-Man Squad, the Source Mod Todd, some of the other videos that we made definitely were fun. That time we had that rivalry with Lit Fuse Films. It was a great time. I thought it was hilarious. Again, you want to see some TAoG influences, the videos we made making fun of I keep wanting to say Light Fuse because that's what I used to call them, but Lit Fuse. The videos we made making fun of Lit Fuse had a lot of TAoG influenced comedy in it, and it took us in a positive direction, I believe. We definitely had a lot of good times in the 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009-ish when we had JS Clan going on, and like I said, it definitely went in a positive direction for sure. So the Adventures of Garry, TAoG, it becomes 15 years old through this winter. And wow, has time absolutely flied. It was a great time making the videos. It was a great time looking back. In order to make this video, I actually went and downloaded all the previous episodes. And I'm going to include the episode, or the channel link down below. And if you want to rewatch them all, it's Wolfer's channel that he made back in like 2006 to just store all the videos. And if you want to reminisce of the old times, or if you're just curious and you want to see the things we thought were funny when we were 15, 16 years old, it's definitely worth a check out. Like I said, unfortunately the Facepunch Studios forums are gone, so the context of a lot of what happened is kind of faded with it. But it remains a testament of time, and it kind of tells the story of the early years of Garry's Mod and the early years of Facepunch, and sort of tells the unforeseen frontier that was that modification at the time. And like I said, it was a good time making it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking back on TAoG with me. I realize this wasn't as in-depth as maybe as I would have liked to have made it. I really didn't pull at Wolfer to get him involved. It's just something I went on with myself. Maybe sometime we'll make something together. I actually would like to make a video sometime with the majority of the old JS clan and sort of reminisce of the old times. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.
You shut your face! Raffle cakes you got on by some random guy. Some random guy owned you raffle.
To be continued. Maybe.